You ready to take your leadership journey to the next level? On the leadership platform TLP, we don't just talk about leadership, we live it. This year, we are bringing you cutting-edge insights, transformative tools, and real-world strategies to help you lead with confidence, purpose, and impact. This year, we have 4 seasons with 50 episodes. We will dive into themes such as leading self, leading others, and leading institutions. We bring you Leaders Are Leaders. This monthly session focuses on book reviews, discussions, encouraging all participants to read along with selected books on personal leadership and professional leadership. We also have a time with the CEO. In this segment, we dive into the stories of prominent CEOs who share their insights, lessons learned throughout their leadership journey. We also bring you extraordinary leadership stories, highlighting individuals in our societies who are doing extraordinary things. This segment inspires viewers with real-life examples of leadership in action. We will bring you some brilliant minds, courageous leaders changing the narrative of Africa. We also bring you finally the expert-led sessions, which cover a wide range of leadership and personal development topics, providing practical guidance and actionable strategies for personal and professional development. The leadership platform is your go-to space for personal growth, professional breakthroughs, and meaningful connections. I am Joy Bunsu-Schmutz, co-host on TLP, and I will see you every Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT, live on YouTube.
Hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Leadership Platform. My name is Samuel Eyim, and as always, I'm excited when it's 7 p.m. on Saturdays. Why? Because I get to meet all of you great minds willing to learn and to grow. I get to host here great leaders who will share their wealth of experience with us. So this evening, you are welcome to the Leadership Platform. Please invite your friends to join the Leadership Platform. If you're connected on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, or any of our platforms, if you're connected, please introduce yourself. Let's know, have your name, where you're connecting from, and it will be our pleasure and honor to introduce you to the whole wide world that you are here on the Leadership Platform. We encourage you to share the link with your friends, with your colleagues, with your church members, with your bosses, and your team members. Invite them to the table because we are going to learn and we are going to grow. You don't want to miss it. You don't want any of your team members to meet today's session because it's a very, very important subject. And the subject is on emotional intelligence. We're going to have a discussion with one of my great friends and great leaders who is doing great things on our continent and trying to develop other leaders on the continent. So please go ahead, introduce yourself. Let me see who is in the room. I know that the CTL Africa team is in the room. Sarah is here. She will join us shortly. Gideon and the rest of the team are also here. Vivian is busy coordinating everything around here. The other members are also around. So I know they are here. Now, I also see Jeremiah. Jesse is here. Great, Jeremiah. You are welcome to the Leadership Platform. Let's know where you're connecting from. Then I have, I think this is Girl Dad Cooking Up or something. Well, please, let's have your name. Jeremiah is connecting from Tamale, so we know that. Thank you so very much. Mercy Esiama is connecting from Kent. Right, so I think Mercy connecting from Kent is here. Mercy, you are very welcome to the leadership platform. I have Jimmy from Wales. Oh, all the English people are here. Thank you so very much, Jimmy, for connecting. Jacob joining from Kumasi. Great to have you. All right, so get that cooking up. Okay, cooking up. And he says, my name is Gedad Cooking Up Deliciousness, joining from South Carolina. Wow. The name is itself delicious. Good. Olivia Okine is here. Says, good evening, team. Great. So we know people are in the room. We also know that many of you who join don't introduce yourself. We understand that. So just stay cool and connect with us as we prepare to start the show this evening. Now, Sarah will join me, as I said, because we're going to have a discussion with our friend here. And as we announced, Daniel Goleman is the guru of leadership. He says, when you combine the power of IQ and EQ, you have a potent cocktail of success. For a very long time in our schools, we have focused on the intelligence, the cognitive intelligence, the IQ. And some of us were beaten when we had mental in class, and they put a cane at our back and they will ask you 4 times 4 times 4 times 14. And you have to give the answer in split seconds. And if you failed, you were whipped. When I was in primary school, primary 2, I had the privilege of being able to answer some of those questions. So they will invite me to primary 3. By the time I'll get to the class, there will be so many people standing up. What that meant is that they've been asked questions they could not answer. Then the teacher will ask me a question, and then I'll answer. Then they will give the cane to me, and my job was to cane everybody standing up. Can you imagine? I was a very smallish, stylish little boy, and sometimes some of the people I have to cane were stronger than me. Each time I have to cane them, once the school bell rings for closing, I have to find the fastest way out of the campus because I will have beatings on the way. Those beatings are outside of the class, so you can't report them back. But that was, the focus was on cognitive intelligence, IQ, thinking on your feet, ability to answer questions, complex mathematical questions. And then we said you were very intelligent. But we found many of those intelligent people left school and they didn't do very well at all. And we find some people that when we were in school were not so intelligent, but very successful, doing great things, doing business and managing things, whereas the sharp, brilliant ones are not. So people started asking, what is the missing link? And that is how psychologists have come to understand that cognitive intelligence alone is not enough, that we need another form of intelligence. And there are several that have been discovered, and we are going to delve into them. So this evening, we're going to talk about emotional intelligence. How do you feel this evening? Maybe you can share in the chat with us how you are feeling. That feeling is your emotion. Emotion simply means energy in motion. There's some energy in you that is moving what you're doing. That is your emotion. Emotional intelligence. What is it? We are going to learn about it. How do you manage your emotions? How does your emotion affect your stress level? How does it affect your leadership? How does it impact your team? And so on and so forth. So those are good questions to focus on. But look, I don't have the answers to those questions. I have my good friend here. He's not only a guru, he is even an author. He has written a book on emotional intelligence. And the title of the book is Emotional Intelligence, the Game Changer in Leadership. We're going to talk about that book also. And we have in the room my good friend Patrick Abah-Dakou. Now, Patrick is a very interesting person. I mean, very, very interesting guy. This guy is a walking, contradiction. This is a French-speaking guy who migrates without a word of English to an English-speaking country, goes to an English-speaking university, live in an English university, set up a business in an English-speaking country, and is teaching in English and speaking English, teaching leadership in English. This is a French-speaking guy who has written a book on emotional intelligence in English. And he will tell you, at a point, his father had given up on him because his IQ was not that good. He had to repeat his A-level examination several times. His father just gave up. That this guy, no, this is not, it doesn't look like you are even my son. But here we are. Patrick has become a very powerful leader going across the continent teaching leadership. He's not just knowledgeable in leadership, he's actually certified as an emotional intelligence coach. And he teaches emotional intelligence across the continent of Africa. Today, he's moved beyond that and migrated to the US to do his doctorate in strategic leadership. He and his family are currently very good friends to Donald Trump. So he's going to tell us also about Donald Trump. On that note, let me invite Patrick to the leadership platform. Patrick, my good friend, Americano, comment ça va?
Ça va bien, merci. Thank you so much.
Soyez le bienvenu.
Merci
We'll speak a little French here to confuse the Ghanaians and the Nigerians on the call.
Thank you so much, sir. Merci beaucoup. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How is Madame and how is baby girl?
Yeah, baby girl, Madame, everybody is fine. We are doing well here. Yes.
I hope they are watching. I hope they are watching.
Yeah.
All right. Look, I'm going to bring Sarah also. Sarah is here in the room. And so we are going to, hey, there's a Swiss girl. She's in the room.
Hi, Sam.
Hello, guys. We are going to have a discussion. Patrick is not going to do a presentation as such, but we're going to have a discussion on emotional intelligence. And so, Patrick, I've said a bit about you, but can you just tell us a bit more, something that you want the audience to know, something, one or two things that is not written anywhere on your Facebook or something that you want to share so that we can appreciate who you are?
Oh, well, thank you so much, Sam, for hosting me here. And thank you for Sarah. So happy to see you, the bright people who are making impact in Africa. So what I want to say people don't know is I have influenced a lot by Mr. Im. This one people don't know that.
This one.
Well, you give me the mic, so let me talk there. Actually, he was saying I'm from Togo. When I was doing I was with EcoBank Togo, and Ghanaians who were bankers there were my role model. Someone was one of them. Richard Chidibwa was one of them. Because I have grown up in French culture, and I see how French people, bankers, handle their colleagues. And I didn't really like it. But I had some admiration for Ghanaian. They were bosses, but they can come to your level. So I said, this is what I want to become. You can be so powerful, as you say in code, but can relate to people like a normal person. So Sam doesn't know, but Sam, Richie Chiribowa, Patrick Abah, these are the people, as I look at them, I told myself that there is something beyond just being a boss, but your ability to relate to people. So it's something people don't know. So Sam, I have answered your question.
Well, I should not have asked that question, but thank you so very much. And that's actually very interesting. It's a very, very interesting, and it's probably going to tie in into some of the things we are going to talk about. Let me start, and then I will ask Sarah to come in. Now, let's start from the basis. There are many people on the call who really don't. When we talk about emotional intelligence, what is it? What are some of the core basic, just ABC of emotional intelligence that you can share with us that every leader must know and master? Just the basics.
Okay, thank you. Emotional intelligence, the word emotion and intelligence, your ability to understand your emotions. But it doesn't stop there. Understand the emotion of Sam. Many people understand their emotion. We talk about awareness. We have self-aware. But few people have developed the ability to understand the emotion of the people they are working with. I have become emotionally intelligent. I learned how to grow as emotionally intelligent with my daughter. How I understand her emotion. Let me give you an example. Last time I went to pick her in school, and she said, I don't like when you come to school, you are on phone. And so I wanted to understand why. She wanted my attention. The whole day she was with her friend. Her father is at school. I want your attention. I want you to be present. My ability to understand my emotion and understand the emotion of my daughter to say, Daddy, when you are there, I want to have you full. It spoke to me a lot. Some years back, we say, what do you mean? But because I learned about emotional intelligence, I said, this is the opportunity to be present for this daughter, because very soon, that time, I won't have it again. So my ability to understand my emotions as a father, understand the emotion of my daughter, so that we can live a very peaceful relationship. This is what I would call emotional intelligence. And for me, emotional intelligence is not, when we talk about leadership starts from home. The best person who can say I'm an emotional intelligent person is my wife and my daughter. How do I manage anger? How do I manage when I'm frustrated? How do I manage stress? If they say I manage it well, I understand myself, I understand them, then I am an emotional intelligent person. And I can carry this one to the workplace or whatever I am as a leader.
Wow.
Wow,
Beautiful.
wow.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah. So Patrick, definitely. I would like to, anyway, thank you for coming on this, this evening, coming on this evening with us. And we know you're a busy person, but you have taken the time. One thing I'm holding against you is that since you wrote the book, I still haven't gotten my my copy. So you have to sign it so I can get my
Sarah,
copy.
you just have to come to Accra, you get a copy.
Or if you,
I have it on ebook, but I want a hard copy. Okay. Patrick, what I wanted to find out from you is what's the story behind this book and what inspired you to write about emotional intelligence, the game changer in leadership. And now you've even said that in leadership, it's not only limited to the professional side, but to the family life as well, personal life. So leadership is across the whole human experience. What inspired you?
what inspired me, as Sam said, when we were growing up, I was not a very brilliant student. And my father, he was an engineer, a mining engineer, and a seasoned banker. So in my family, the language we understand is you have a high IQ and you do well. So against my father's expectation, I was not doing too well. He was so disappointed. And I took the pleasure to count how many times I failed in school. 7 times, 7 years repeating. And my father was so, he could, in his dictionary, you cannot fail. You cannot go to school, say, I have not done well. I hear he has his son who was not doing well. So through that frustration, I came to ask myself, it is only the people who are intellectually, some talk about cognitive, who will make it in life. I was saying I grew up in the French system. And I moved from the French system to the English system. Here I came to Ghana. I got admitted at the university. Somebody was failing in school. First year, I registered to do my degree. Guess what? I finished my degree with second class upper, which was not normal. So I asked myself, what was wrong? A Togolese, a French person, they say he were a failure in your country. You move to an English country. Then you are just enjoy school. So when I was doing my degree, I needed to write my project work. The project of my dissertation was, I was reading an article in the newspaper written by retired Captain Sam Adai. And the title was An Emerging Leadership. As I read it, he was demonstrating that leaders who are great leaders making impact, they are not only people who have high IQ. Actually, some have low IQ. But what makes the distinction outstanding leader is his capacity to understand people, to lead with the heart, understand himself, understand people they are his lead with the heart. And he was saying, and he quoted Daniel Goleman. Daniel Goleman did a research on 200 big companies across the world. And Daniel Goleman came back to say, it's not the people who are leaders, who are first-class leaders, who are outstanding leaders, but rather people who have high EQ. Based on my personal experience and the reading, my project topic at university was emotional intelligence, critical success for entrepreneurs in Africa. It's where the interest came back. As working in the bank, when I left the bank, I started training leaders across Africa, Europe, Africa. I realized that you have CEOs who are leading their colleagues. When they are present, people are laughing, are smiling. Some when they leave the room, people are sad. So when you ask the colleague, you say that my boss is very intelligent. He has attended Yale, Harvard, Oxford, Sorbonne, but he doesn't know how to talk to people. When he's not happy, he just bursts out, make everybody feel bad. This director, this CEO, he's extremely intelligent. He has a high EQ. He has a low IQ. Documenting all those things, I felt like, why not write a book to challenge this, that it's not only when you have high IQ who make you an outstanding leader, but there's a gap between being a leader who has a high IQ and work on your EQ so that you can become an outstanding leader. This is what has led me to write this book on emotional intelligence, the game changer in leadership.
Wow, beautiful. So what I'm hearing is that this book is going to bridge the gap between IQ and EQ. And you did talk about talk about two environments, the Francophone environment and the Anglophone environment. And from your experience, your lived experience, I can see you maybe transitioning or really cementing this idea about EQ from people who were your role models to writers. So this is a lived experience that you are sharing with us in your book.
Yeah.
What I want to find out from you is, you had all these experience on the African continent, right?
Yes.
What is it that as Africans, when it comes to EQ, that may be different from that of the Western world? Did you see that when you were doing all this writing and living your experience?
Well, yes, that is the difference. The difference is, let's say, I'm just taking an example of, I do training for some leaders in France, Belgium, and you realize that Africans are more warm. There, I thought when the first time when I started training people in emotional intelligence, I thought people would have high IQ than Africans. No, Africans are warm. Africans are more, it depends. Africans, for example, when you go to do training in some European countries, people have grown to learn that you have to keep yourself. Expressing your emotions, you can look like somebody who's weak. So people don't want to become vulnerable. A boss is a boss. So he doesn't want to show his team members that, for him, showing them that he can feel discouraged, it is a sign of weakness. But when you challenge leaders to say, okay, well, when you show how vulnerable you are, it's give the power to other people to say, okay, well, it is normal to feel weak sometimes. It's normal to feel sad as a boss. It's normal to feel confused. And then people start realizing that it's what makes you human. So what I would say that emotional intelligence, either in Africa or in Europe, is the same. People need to be aware that being a boss doesn't mean you are a Superman. You are a human before become a boss. So that ability to understand your emotion, understand the emotion of the people. So let me give you an illustration. I met a CEO, and his team members said he's one of the best emotional intelligent boss they have. What does he do? When he comes to work, the first thing he does is, he said, I take my team members, I ask them, how do you feel? How was yesterday? How was family? They say, it takes me just 30 minutes to do round. When you chat with the director, he say, I feel so appreciated. This man who is a MD, he come to ask me, how do I feel? How is my family? The woman said, I feel so valued. And she said, the MD we had previously, as soon as he comes to work, he's in his office. He said, when he calls, you know that he's going to shout at you. And now we have a CEO who knows how to understand his emotion, how to understand the emotion of the team member. And that CEO say what? He say, Patrick, when I take like less than 30 minutes to do this, I know who to give sensitive information. If I ask my director, is a woman who tell me that last night we couldn't sleep because my son, my daughter was at hospital, I know how to handle that person. So that CEO, he's emotional intelligent. He understands his emotion. He tries to understand the emotion of his team members so that they can have a wonderful culture. And that company, a lady told me, she's a lawyer. Say, I had opportunity to work with other companies. But because of my boss, emotional intelligent, I don't want to go anywhere. So these are the example to show that a CEO who understands emotions, a CEO who doesn't understand his emotion, and the impact it's having on his team members. Thank you.
Okay.
Sarah, as you were asking that question, I was just looking into your book, and I read. He says EQ is the ability to identify and understand your emotions and express them effectively. An emotionally intelligent person demonstrates self-awareness, appreciate the worth of people in their ecosystem, and also exhibits the ability to make sound judgments and decisions.
Yeah.
Openness and honesty about mistakes and shortfalls are also hallmarks of emotionally intelligent people. Additionally, they possess the ability to handle emotions in very trying situations and handle stress effectively. Emotionally intelligent people recognize and reward achievements as well. Now, I mean, as I was reading, this looks like, a summary of what you're saying. Guys, I want you to get a book and read it because there's so much nuggets in it. Now, my question following from this, and since we are talking about leaders, is this. How does this self-awareness, this emotional intelligence, influence the way leaders make decisions and interact with their team? How does it affect their decision-making process, and how does it affect the team, and so on?
Sam, thank you so much. Self-awareness means you are aware of your weaknesses. You are not aware of your strength. And self-awareness helps you to know your emotional triggers. For example, what makes you sad? What makes you angry? Let me give you an example. I like illustration. When I know my self-awareness level shows me that when I am tired, I need to watch my emotions. I am extremely tired. I can be really irritable. So I watch what I say. I watch how I behave. This is self-awareness. Self-awareness as a leader help you to know that today I didn't sleep well. So in my decisions, if I am irritable, I'm not happy, I need to be careful what I say. If you don't have self-awareness, when you are angry, because you are angry, you will say how you feel it. But how does that anger affect the people you work with? Let me give you another example. I was doing a training for a company. In that company, they decided that the central bank decided to, promote the national, the people from the country. So when you are the MG, you are an expert, they want the expert to go so that the national to take over. There was a finance director, a very skillful gentleman, so competent. But his challenge was anger. They say when you are the ESCOM, he gets angry. The MG say, he said, I am the MG. Looks like I'm his employee. So there was a decision made to say, okay, we want somebody to take over. This gentleman, he was supposed to take over. But the HR director and MG in front of him, you say, no. We can never give him that position. The MG say, he is not an MG. See the way he behave. The day we become MG, he say, everybody will die here. No, I'm being honest. They say they are going to coach him because of his lack of self-awareness. They were obliged to bring another expert. So his lack of self-awareness was affecting the team. Productivity, people are afraid of him. They can't tell him what they think. because anytime you share your point of view, he's not happy. So you see how self-awareness is linked to performance. A leader who is self-aware will know how to motivate his team members. A self-awareness person is somebody who is vulnerable, somebody who is, as we say, somebody who recognizes his mistake. This gentleman, for example, because he's good in his stuff, as you say, he doesn't recognize it. His colleagues say he will never admit his mistake because he lacks self-awareness. The fact that you say, I'm wrong, doesn't make you a lower leader, but rather give opportunity to see people that, he's so humble, he accepts his mistake. So how self-aware you are, help your team members to become open, to be engaged.
Yeah, great. Wonderful, Patrick. So you've touched upon vulnerability, you've talked about self-awareness, you've talked about emotions. I mean, that is the subject on which we are discussing today. And in your book, you talk about the inner work. Taking, for example, this managing director, what do you call it, aspirant that was supposed to take over, but because of his anger issues, you said there is need for healing anger and faith. So I would like you to talk to us a little bit more about how, as a leader, you can heal this anger or negative emotions that really hinder your advancement to become a leader. Because you said that anger, bitterness, and emotional wounds in leaders, and it is important that leaders really heal. And this is part of the book, the work that you have done in your book. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Emotional healing. First of all, we need to know what produces anger. I like giving an example. When we're doing a training, a gentleman said something. He said, when I was 5, my father and mother were arguing. He said, my father was a teacher. He said, one day, he said, I was 5, I was looking at, and my mother was engaging my father in discussion. She was talking to my father. And my father, because he was a teacher, he was marking the student copies. He said, my father realized that the argument is becoming a heat argument. He didn't want to talk. He said, the gentleman said, I was looking at my mother, and suddenly my mother got up and she just collected the papers from my father and threw them away. The gentleman said, that day I knew that it was the end for my mother. He said, I saw my dad when collect the papers. He came back to sit down. He continued to mark the papers. The gentleman said, that day I learned that no matter what the situation in life, a man doesn't raise his hand on a woman. But you see, the gentleman will say, if I have seen my father raising his hand on my mother that day, maybe it will inform me that when there is argument, you use violence. Sometimes you ask your people, is what somebody has seen growing up can inform how he behaves. So that person must learn how to do things differently. When we say emotional intelligence is, I can get angry, shout at people. Have I expressed anger? Yes. But was it intelligent? No. So when we talk about anger, we talk about bitterness, we talk about revenge. When you, the leader, you realize that if I don't manage this very well, it will destroy me. I will ask my coach, my client, when I'm doing coaching with them, they say, I can't let go. I say, who is suffering? As soon as the person realizes that the emotion is destroying my life, the person decides to let go. So when we talk about anger, ask what makes you angry? Is it you have seen your parent, how you see your parent express anger, or you are somebody who is You think that the way you manifest anger is the best way. How could you express your anger but in a very intelligent way? 1, 2, bitterness. I always tell my client that I say the people you are bitter against, you will die, they will come and bury you. Which is the reality. Because bitterness has a power to eat you up. I meet CEOs, MDs, they are in their suit, but they are bitter. I told them that be careful, because bitterness has bitterness is a silence killer. When somebody has, let's say,
It's drinking poison and expecting somebody to die.
exactly. you have you see, so you challenge leaders that if there is something you need to let go, is bitterness. Is this negative emotion? How could you let it go? What do you tell yourself when you are angry?
Okay, so Patrick, I'm just curious. So if I have noticed this about myself, yes, you are a coach. Do I go to a coach, or do I go to a therapist, or do I go to an emotional intelligence expert? What is the first step for me to address this? What do I do? Because it would be great for our listeners to know that step one, I have seen this in me. How can I address it?
Okay, the first step, as I say, is being aware. Ask yourself, why am I angry? Why am I bitter? What is the cause? Now seek help. As I'm talking now, I had a coaching with an MD. He has a challenge with anger. But you see, he had just learned how to handle her anger. So after 3 months, he said, my colleague are surprised that what makes me angry, I just stopped. Because he said, when I'm angry, I told myself that when I open my mouth, whatever I say, I can't call it back. So he have developed ways to handle anger. He said, I leave the place. Or I told myself that you can keep this. When you are calm, you can talk. So the first step is to be aware. What is the source? What provokes anger? The second is seek help. An emotional intelligence coach, somebody who can, you feel, share how you feel about the issue. Or read books. There are books, there are coach. And I listened to a woman, she called Dr. Leaf. She's a South African. I follow her a lot. She suggests ways people can manage anger, for example. One of the ways is we have natural ways. Maybe when you feel angry, exercise, for example. Exercise is because negative emotions build negative hormones. How to get rid of this? By exercising, by learning to be calm. So there are ways, natural ways, to express this negative emotion. After you have done this, if you have opportunity to seek for help from a coach, that is the best, you see, or a therapist, that is best. You see. But what we say is, don't be ashamed of being angry. Don't be ashamed. If you don't let it go, it has a power to destroy your life. So seek help. I don't know if I have answered your question, Sarah.
You have.
Yeah.
You have. So I'll hand over to you. Yeah.
Great ideas and great thoughts there. We're all human. Don't be ashamed. Seek help and do a few things. Now, Patrick, I just want to follow up briefly on that. I mean, and to bring it in the context of conflict management. Can you share, you like giving us examples of how emotionally intelligent leaders can handle conflicts differently from others? How does being emotionally intelligent help us in conflict situations and so forth. And by the way, as we were talking, there was a question. And guys, you can start putting your questions in the chat. I mean, there's just a small question around this where her ladyship is asking, now, a driver goes, he says, how should one address a situation where a driver sits in the car before the boss arrives? Is it appropriate to expect the boss to greet the driver in the vehicle? I mean, this is so. I mean, I'm just looking at different conflict situations that we find ourselves in organizations, at homes, and leaders have to navigate. How does emotional intelligence help in conflict resolution?
Well, somebody who is emotionally intelligent, as we say, is self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
And he is aware of other people he's working with. So just let's see the body language. You are the meeting, the board meeting. You say something as MD. You see that one of the directors, the person facial expression change. Being aware of the emotion of the people, you know that I have said something which didn't sync with the people. Or as feedback, have I said something? How do you feel about what you have said? Feedback helps you to know what people think about what you are saying. So emotionally intelligent people, because they understand their emotion, they understand the emotion of the people, it's helping to prevent or to know how to solve conflicts. If, for example, I say something Sarah didn't like, I realized Sarah, she changed her facial expression. Sarah, did I say something? Did it agree well with you? He said, yeah, Patrick, this one, it looks like the tone of your voice, I didn't like it. Your ability to engage people is critical in emotional intelligence, and your ability to admit mistakes. I like the example you gave right now. It is the boss who will say hi to the driver. What does it cost? For me, it doesn't matter who will say hi first. So if you want the driver to learn to say hi, teach him the lesson. Mm-hmm. I mean, we say leadership, be the first to give the example. So you teach people how, the way you want people to behave like that. So in conflict resolution, you anticipate conflict. Conflict is good, but how could we anticipate conflict? In your organization, for example, we call something emotional reasoning. It's how do you use facts and emotion to take a decision as a leader. Engaging people, communication, help you to know how to manage conflict, asking feedback, admitting your mistake, and also as a leader, accept to be vulnerable. I realized that in Africa, certain is that the boss is also right. No, the boss is not always right. The boss can be wrong, and the boss must accept when he's wrong. That, oh, guys, I missed it here. I'm sorry, teams. So all this, when you are a leader, you create this atmosphere where people. That is a book I like, Patrick Murray. He talk about the man in the mirror. He said, find somebody in your organization. You have given the right. Anytime you are misbehaving, to come to your office, to close the door, to say you are misbehaving. He said, give that right to somebody. He said, accept as a leader to be held accountable. He said, this one will prevent you to make great mistakes. See, for example, you are a leader in a company, find somebody you know that the person has that emotional stability. Tell him that when I'm misbehaving, even that I'm the boss, I'm giving you the right. Enter my office, tell me. So this is being vulnerable. Accept to be accountable. Your organization will do well because people will not be afraid to tell you the truth. Sometimes I'm amazed to see when you are training bankers, when the MD enter, everybody's smiling. When the MD leave, you say, okay, whatever is we are going to discuss here will stay within us. It's where you see people true color. They are one person when the MD is there. They are another person when the MD is on there. Why? Because they are afraid of the person.
Wow.
And you see that the company, they have so much conflict, but they can't voice it out because when they talk about it, it is Mr. Right. So since everybody knows that we're Mr. Right, we are doing with the problem is not solved. But if we accept to solve the problem, people become happy. They are genuine. They are authentic.
Yeah. But Patrick, I mean, that goes back also to the question Sarah asked earlier. And I want to go back again because some of these behaviors, there is also a cultural element
Thank you.
to this. I mean, when you were talking about when Sarah asked the question, you said Africans are warm. But I mean, by culture, Africans are not allowed, the young ones are not allowed to speak. And we were taught that a child must be seen but must not be heard. I mean, your child is able to tell you, Daddy, when you come to school, don't please put your phone aside. If you said that to an African father, proper African father, he will probably slap you because you are not supposed to speak to your elderly like that. It's a cultural thing. I mean, in my culture, when an adult is talking to you, you don't have to look at his face. When I was young, if an adult is talking to you and you look at his face, they will slap you. Are you looking at my face? They expect you to look down. But the Western culture is different. You're supposed to look at the person in his face. We carry this to corporate environment, so we are not able to communicate effectively with people who we see as authority figures. So there's a cultural dimension to this. How do we marry this and make sure that we build the cultural dimensions to relationship and emotions and how we express them and communicate? In your work, how does this fit in? And I guess Sarah asked that question, but
Okay.
I want you to throw some more light on that.
Yeah, even before Patrick answers that, I'm just looking at this question that her ladyship has posed.
Yes.
Culturally, and the protocol
Yeah.
for a driver is to be outside and allow the boss to sit in before he sits in. And this has been broken. How do we address this? This is really a cultural issue. So, Patrick, over to you to answer that and using this as an example.
Okay, I'm coming back before I answer the question. I'm coming back to the example of my daughter. If she's not able to tell me what she thinks in a very polite way, when she grows up, she will hide things from me. And this one, I don't want it. If at that age, she's 10 now, she can't tell me, Daddy, I feel like when you come to pick me, you don't give me attention. When she grows up, it's likely that she will not share what is deep with her. How can I create that relationship of a father and a daughter where she can trust me like I am? I can confine myself to my father. It comes when you give the opportunity to the child to open up. Respectfully tell you that I think just when you are around, when you're on phone, I want your full attention. So when we talk about African, there is very great things about African culture. But what some just say right now, we need to be very careful when you bring culture, how we live in our home, we bring it to office. I know MDs who handle their team members like their children. I said, they are not your children. They are your team members. If you treat them, they are children, they can't bring innovations. So how you see I say, what you sow into them is what you will reap. You sow trust, you will value them, They will bring you innovation. They will bring you creativity. They will bring you growth. But when you see them that children, somebody, MD was saying, these children at all, I say, you can't call them children. Call them team members. So to come back to the example you just gave now, Sarah, about the driver and the boss, it's simple. Let the boss have a discussion with the driver. This is the right attitude. It shows respect to your employer. A simple discussion. And I think that if the driver knows who is paying his salary, if that driver is wise, he will learn. You agree with me? So for me to answer your questions is, how do you communicate this kind of behavior? How do you have a discussion? Sometimes when you see an CEO having a posture, I told them, have you communicated your expectation, your team members? They say no. I say, how do you expect them to know? Have discussion with them, tell them, guys, how you are behaving, you are late. I don't like it. We have this thing to follow. So for me, communication is key. But as you are communicating, be open to listen to what people are saying. Don't listen to them to answer, but listen to them to understand. Very, very important. Many CEOs, they are listening to answer what their colleagues are saying. I say, are you listening to answer or you are listening to understand? Say, Patrick, I'm listening to answer. I say, the reason why you are not getting the result. But the day you will start listening to your member to understand, then the result will be different.
Yeah, great. Sarah, there's some questions in. I don't know if you want to.
Yes, I think.
Wellington says he has 4 questions.
Yes, okay. But before we get that, I just want to make sure that we have addressed the question of her leadership. And I have a few questions for her leadership when it comes to this situation that she's put in the comment section. Number one, I just wanted to find out from her, is that what the driver has been doing consistently, or is this the first time?
But I think Patrick was saying that it requires is communication.
Exactly.
Have you communicated the expectation?
Yes.
And if you have, then you have to have a discussion.
Exactly.
And tell the person, this is how I expect you to behave. And as he said, if the driver knows where his salary is coming from, he will behave. So basically, you see, and like she said, she considered this as disrespectful.
Yeah.
And so that expectation, and Patrick said it, that you as a leader, you have to communicate how you want the behavior you want.
Yes.
So did you communicate it? Because some people are coming from different backgrounds. They know that I'm a driver. I sit behind the wheel and I drive. You are the boss. Sit inside you and let me drive you. What's the big deal about it? If you come and meet me, greet me. If I meet you, I greet you. What's the big deal about it? And like Patrick said, I mean, yeah, if you want to show the driver that when you see somebody, you have to greet him, show it, greet the person. Good morning, driver. How are you? Then you can go ahead and share with him that, you see, next time when you can tell him what you want, but at least you've demonstrated to him the behavior you want him to see. That when I came to see you, I greeted you. But if you don't greet and you go and sit in and you're expecting him to say, welcome, boss, good morning. And if he doesn't see that, so you have to lead with the behavior you want people to follow.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's see the 4 questions that we have. Number 1, it says emotions are often described as transient experiences. If they are so fleeting, why does emotional intelligence place such strong emphasis on them? Number 2, I said, shouldn't logical and rational thinking be prioritized instead? What is your perspective on this balance? Patrick, I'll leave you to answer this before we go to the second one.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let me take the second one first. The
Okay,
second one,
all right.
No, actually, all that is one question. Eh?
Okay. So
What you
in the
read
context,
is one
okay.
question.
So in the context of EI, how can individuals identify and leverage opportunities that are hidden within negative emotions, such as an anger, fear, or frustration?
So that's the second question.
Yeah, and the third one is, if a person expresses anger by shouting, how should, and he did not finish. So over to you,
Okay.
Patrick.
We'll
I
come.
think
We'll come.
yeah, Emmanuel
okay.
will complete.
So let me take the last one. Say, for example, you have a good, as a friend, people like champagne. You have a good bottle of champagne. The non-alcoholic one. I have a friend say,
Why the non-alcoholic? Some people like the alcoholic
Because
one
he's a pastor.
because he's a pastor.
because personally, I don't take alcohol. So the person take the champagne, one of the best brand, shake the champagne, open it. I asked the question to my client, what will happen? He said the champagne will splash all over the place. The same champagne, you leave it 5 minutes. When you open, what happens? He said the champagne we'll see the champagne coming out, but it will not make so much impact. I said, this is how anger management works like. When you are angry, you express it in a very violent way. You have expressed it, but the way the champagne will splash all over, your anger will cause more harm than to repair what you want to show. By the same anger like champagne, you cool down, you express it. It will be intelligent. The message will be heard. The people will respect you. So Emmanuel has not finished his question about anger management, but I'm just giving an illustration about a bottle of champagne. We shook it, we let it go. What we produce, the same bottle, we leave it, it cool down, we open it. The champagne express itself, but in a very intelligent way. You shake it, the champagne express itself, but in a very unintelligent way. This is the power of anger management.
Wow.
Now, when we talk about the first questions, why we talk about your cognitive and emotions. Apart from experience, research have shown that leaders who are able to understand their emotions, who are not so extremely intelligent, are great leaders. The same research has shown that leaders are extremely intelligent, but because they have a low EQ, no one wants to work with them. And I have a formula I wrote in the book. Success is emotional intelligence plus emotional quotient. So I like people to measure. I say how intelligent you are. A finance guy, an architect. He say on a scale of 1 to 10. I say suppose that success is 20. Your EQ is 10. Your IQ is 10. I say assess yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How do you assess yourself intelligently? He will say, I am 8, 9. Excellent. Now assess yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How emotional and intelligent you are. 2, 3, 4. So 10 or 9 plus 4 is 13 over 20. It's a reason why you are not able to lead effectively. But somebody who knows that when he assesses himself on the EQ is low, decided to work on his EQ. If on his IQ is 8, on his EQ he leave 3, work on himself, become 8, 9. It's 8 plus 8 is 16/20. So he will be a very performant and outstanding leader. So this is why emotional intelligence is critical. Success is not only IQ. Success is EQ plus IQ. So we need to work, as some say, we have been trained in school to develop our IQ. Now the time is not to challenge leaders to develop also their EQ so that they will be outstanding leaders. Thank you.
Perfect.
Good.
Okay. I
So
can see.
Emmanuel has completed, he has added so those are the first two questions you've addressed. The third and the fourth questions, I think the third question is if a person expresses anger, I think you've explained that, so maybe that would drive with the champagne thing. If a person expresses anger by shouting, how should this behavior be interpreted through the lens of emotional intelligence? Does it reflect vulnerability? Because you talk about vulnerability, I'm just being vulnerable. That's how I feel. I say it. Honesty, or does it suggest poor emotional regulation?
The question I've asked is, shouting, was the emotion expressed intelligently? Is there any other way to express your frustration without shouting? The people are hearing you. The fact that you have shouted, have you achieved any goal? Did you take into consideration their feelings as you are shouting? We say emotional intelligence, my ability to understand my emotion, understand the emotion of the people, the awareness of others is critical in emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can shout, but the people are hearing me. Just okay, let him shout. After all, we know that he will cool down, but the goal will not be achieved. I can be frustrated. When I allow my anger to cool down, I'll call the people that I feel insulted by your behavior, and I don't want this to happen again. Have I expressed my anger? Yes. Was it intelligent? Yes. The shouting, has it achieved any goal? It depends on the person asking the question, but I don't think so. This is what this is my point of view. I may be wrong here.
Now, somebody says that we shout when we are angry because when we are angry with each other, we are emotionally very distant. And so we feel like shouting, we need to shout for them to hear because we're so distant and far away. But if you get emotionally close, you don't have to shout. So,
I love that.
but I think the point you're making basically is that if you're emotionally intelligent and regulating yourself, and that is an element of emotional intelligence, self-regulation. You don't just have to be self-aware, but you have to be able to regulate your emotions. And that is where the intelligence is. So if you're shouting and screaming all over the place, it means you are not regulating your emotions intelligently.
And Sam,
That's the point you're making.
I want to add some what you say. Self-awareness helps you to identify your emotional triggers.
Yes.
You see, before you get angry, you know yourself. So you know that, be careful, I'm going to shout. So what do you tell yourself when you are angry? Me is work for me extremely well. What do I tell myself? What is the dialogue happen within yourself as you are angry? So your ability to recognize what makes you angry and to regulate yourself help you to express it in a very intelligent way.
Great. I think the last question from the Emmanuel will answer that. Then I will come to Patrick to tell us, you talk about measurement. Are there tools to measure how emotionally intelligent we are? like the IQs, they can go and do a test to say your IQ is this. Are there tools that we can go either download online, whatever, tests that we can do to measure how emotionally intelligent we are? But before you come to that, let's address Emmanuel's fourth question, which is, where does the core of emotional intelligence truly lie? Does it lie in becoming aware of one's emotion, in understanding their impact on others, or in effectively managing and responding to them? Like when we were in school, they say A, B, C, D, all of the above. So Emmanuel, the answer is all of the above, but the professor is here, so I would leave him to. Where does it lie? Is it recognizing your own emotions, becoming aware of the emotions of others or the impact on them, or in effectively managing and responding to them? Where does it lie?
Thank you. Before to be able to manage it, you need to know yourself.
Yeah.
Ability to understand the emotion of others, able to Daniel Goleman say, managing your emotion effectively. How do you manage it effectively? And you see, when we talk about emotional intelligence, these are skills you can acquire. It's like learning to swim. You develop, Mr. Ayim, how emotionally intelligent I was 5 years now, I have grown because these are skills you learn. More you practice how emotionally intelligent you are, more you become better. So if you won't reach a point where you say, I am a super emotionally intelligent person. No. As I mentioned, this CEO, he has a challenge with anger. Through coaching, say, Patrick, my colleagues are amazed now. What makes me angry 3 years ago, I just let it go. He has grown from one stage to another stage. So you grow, you develop the skills, you become a better person. Now to come to your question, there are tools. We use a tool, we call it Genos. Genos has tools where we use a lot with banks, corporate organizations, even individual. What we call it the 360 degrees of emotional intelligence leaders. Where, for example, we take Sarah. Sarah is working on a company. She is a director. Sarah will be assessed by her CEO. She will be assessed by her peers, directors, 6 or 7. She will be assessed by her direct report. She will assess herself on 42 behaviors characterize emotional intelligence leaders. It's amazing how leaders discover themselves. So people will give you feedback. We like the way you handle conversation. When you are wrong, we don't like the way you don't admit mistakes. So we have tools. These are the 360 degrees. But apart from that, your families, ask your wife. If you want to be vulnerable, ask your wife, when I'm angry, what do you think about that? Or they will tell you the truth. Ask your children. They will tell you the truth, you see. People who are around you, I can say I am emotionally intelligent, Sam. But if people around me say I am not, I am not.
Yeah.
So the feedback you receive about how emotional and we have components.
Patrick, that's where we have a big problem in Africa, because the people will not tell you. Africans don't tell your boss, children, or your subordinates, unless it's in a confidential environment. They will not tell you, the boss, that, boss, we don't like the way you behave.
But do you want to change? If we want to change, we the leaders, we must lead the way. Accept as a leader to be vulnerable. Invite your colleagues to say, okay, what to assess you, and let the person know that it's like an MD was saying one day, I didn't know that is what they think about me. As for the children. And I said, if you made that comment, be sure that next time they will not give you feedback. And he was so offended. He said, why? How could they say this about me? I said, do you want the people to be genuine, to be authentic, to be real? He said, yes. Yeah. But if you brag, they will behave the way you want it to behave. and the company cannot grow because you want to receive constructive feedback to move ahead.
Yeah. Great.
Right.
Great.
Wonderful.
Sarah, over to you, Sarah.
Yes. So, Patrick, for me, I'm looking at Emmanuel's question and the answer you gave. I see three pillars. It's you plus other people's impact, the impact of your emotions on them, how you regulate that, whether good or bad, and then the result of the two coming together to produce the result that you are. So I see the three pillars. So it's you, myself as a leader, the people that I lead, and then the result of these two interactions that we see as the end result. So thank you very much. This is really great. Patrick, there's one question that I want to ask before I can see time is running. You are a person of faith. How does this show up in the faith industry, emotional intelligence? Just talk to us about that.
The faith industry, before doing my certificate on emotional intelligence, I realized that I thought when you're a pastor, you don't need emotional intelligence. I had the opportunity to do the training for a team of pastors. I just decided to measure the trust level. Go, and I realized that people don't trust each other. So it's not automatic. I always say that whatever you can get through training, God expects you to get through training. The Spirit of God will not give it to you.
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
don't expect that you will speak in tongues, shakara bababa. You become, no. These are skills. You will learn. You become a better person. So right now, I do coaching for pastors, and they are amazed. I say, okay, well, I thought I know how to handle myself, but because when you ask the people working with him, you say, no. He always right. And sorry to say, but in Africa, we have a problem. We have a problem. It's like the pastor is a man of, before becoming a man of God, he's a man. So he has emotion, because I don't even get it. Before he become a man of God, he is a man, he's human being. And sometimes you are amazed. I mean, because of confidentiality, sometimes you talk to a pastor, he's so broken, he's discouraged. But because he doesn't want to be seen, he wants to be seen like human beings. A pastor who is so discouraged come to work, to church, the congregation, pastor, I have problem in my house. I have a challenge with my wife, my children. But he's so discouraged. The question I want to ask, who is taking care of the pastor? He's human being. He's a man before a pastor. He's not a superman. He's a man. So he can be discouraged. He can be angry. He can be sad. So let me be careful. So to answer your question, I think with my little experience, we need more emotional intelligence training in the body of Christ. Actually, people who are not Christian, they can open up. But Christian, we cover everything with spirituality. I'm being honest. Hallelujah, amen. But you are not well.
Love covers a multitude of sins now.
Yeah. No. It doesn't cover anything. Say that you are afraid. Say that it's not going well. I'm so depressed. I need help.
Yeah.
Then you can receive help. So, Sarah, to answer your question, let the Holy Spirit has his part to play. Very, very important. But the fact that you are a Christian doesn't mean automatically you are an emotional intelligent person. No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great.
This is a universal tool. Patrick, thank you so much. And Sam, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you so very much. Leadership says, great presentation. God bless you. And Emmanuel says, thank you for your answers. Natalia says, indeed, lead with the behavior you would like people to emulate. Good evening, team. Who else is in the room? Let me see. All right, today was for Cynthia and Emmanuel. They did us a lot of honors. And Olivia Okan say thank you for the very important reminder that no leader is a superman or superhero. And Edwige from France is here in the room. All right. Who else is here?
Yeah, there's Olivia at the end.
Yeah, Nadofo is here. Olivia says thank you very much for very important. Oh, the reminder, that's what I said. Let me see who else is here. Okay, though.
And Olivia said exactement. Many fail to recognize that they are human beings with many
Yes.
real needs too, first of all. Yes.
Wonderful.
Great.
Wonderful.
But Patrick, before you go up, so now I'm just curious. Now that you are an accomplished person, is your daddy still alive? What is he saying about you?
Oh, he's so proud of him now.
Oh, very good question. You see, when I moved to Ghana, when my father knew that I went to university, he didn't know that I can go back to university. So I did my degree. The following year, I did my MBA in finance. After finishing my MBA, I did my MBA, another MBA in entrepreneurship. I remember my dad look at my face and say, "I'm so proud of you."
Wow.
Now
So,
you are intelligent now.
but as Sam was saying, my dad, may his soul rest in peace. But you see, when I discovered emotional intelligence, when I mentioned to my dad, the book I'm using now in emotional intelligence was bought by my dad.
Oh wow.
Unfortunately, he died. He went to France, he bought 2 brand new books on emotion by the guy Daniel Goma. But the book, he died, he couldn't read it. This book for me is the best legacy he left. It's a book I'm using now to do training. And I wish he would be alive. Today I'm doing my doctorate. But you see, what I mean is your failures, you can use your failures to package them, to sell them.
Yeah.
Whatever is a challenge in your life, you can allow your failure to destroy you or to become a source of income. Today, I'm coaching people how to handle failure, and they pay me in euros. Is not that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Make sure that some of the euros come my way.
Oh, don't worry, you are close. So to close
you both of you should send me some of the euros. You are choppy euros.
It is very, very important to see what we define as failure. I have one of my phrases in the book that is golden nugget in our failure. Because in that failure, the way you see failure, you can transform the failure into opportunity, and it will serve other people.
Wow, exactly. And you are just an example of what you went through. You've written a book. You're working with that as a tool to help leaders. So what I will say to our audience and viewers today is to really get a copy of Patrick's book because it's full of nuggets. Patrick, where can we get? Yes, where can we get? Okay, there we go. So if you want a copy of the book, these are the details.
The numbers, just call, and then they'll bring you copies.
If not,
you can buy copies for your church leaders. You can buy copies for your team members. You can buy copies as a gift. Christmas is coming. Don't just buy biscuits and kill goats and cow. Buy emotional intelligence books for your people as a gift.
Some is available on Amazon. So on Amazon, wherever you are in the world, you can get the book. It's available on Amazon too.
The title of the book is Emotional Intelligence, The Game Changer by Patrick Abah-Dakou. All right. So don't go and buy any other book. Just buy this one. It's enough. Then you can, when you finish, you can read another one.
Perfect. And Patrick, one last question. When it comes, this is in English. Do we have the French version as well for the Francophones?
Not yet.
Or is it in the making?
But we are working on the,
Okay.
by God willing, by January we have French.
Okay.
We are planning to work to translate into Chinese and also into Spanish. These are the 4 languages: English, French, Chinese, and Spanish. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. And do we have it also in audio format?
Not audio yet. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Because
Pastor,
we all learn differently. Some people are visual, some people are auditory. So just looking at that. It's been great, Sam. Over to you. And to
Thank you
Patrick.
so very, very much, Patrick. What's your last word for us before you go?
my last word is, first of all, I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. And you have impacted my life a lot, Sam. You don't want people to hear it, but since I have opportunity to say it, let me say it well. You impacted me by your leadership, your example. I'm not flattered. Your humility as a leader for me is great. And I want to challenge people in education. Let not wait people to grow before to teach them how to become emotional. Let this emotional concept be taught in school. If this can be done, children learn how to be emotionally intelligent. When they grow up, they'll become excellent people. So this is my heart. Educations at home. Let's embrace this culture of emotionally intelligent leader. I'm sure it will help the world a lot. Right now, we see people want to divorce. They say we are not compatible. When you go and check, they don't just know how to express their emotion. So when you want to get married, it's good to invest thousands of dollars in your marriage, but it's good to learn how to handle your emotions. This will make you a better husband, a better wife. This is my last word.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you so much. Isaac Ayuku from Tanzania say, awesome. Great. And Olivia says that many fail to realize that they are human beings with many real needs to first of all. All right. So thank you everybody for joining us. This has been the Leadership Platform. Until we come your way next week with another leader, and next week we're coming with an extraordinary leadership story. You don't want to miss that one too. So make a date with us and join us next week on the Leadership Platform. Let's go improve our emotional intelligence a bit, and let's become better leaders, because the world needs more better leaders. God bless all of us. Have a good night.
Good night.
For over a decade, CTL Africa Leadership has been more than a service provider. We are your dedicated partner in leadership growth, specializing in leadership development, corporate governance, strategy, culture, change management, and customer service. We focus on relational skills and personal growth essentials for effective and sustainable leadership. Our approach blends masterclasses, mastermind groups, gamified learning, and executive coaching to create impactful and engaging programs. Introducing our 2025 Corporate Development Catalog. For all heads of organizations and HR leaders, call us now to request your copy today and take your organization to the next level in 2025. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do that now.